Good evening everybody, welcome to Beer Reviews with me, Jack, your host, and this is my happy face. This is my extremely happy face because the beer that we have tonight is one that, might as well show you. It's Ruinten by Stone Brewing Company. If you know me, Ruination was probably the beer that broke my palate and turned me into an absolutely humongous hophead. And recently we've had the Ruination 2.0, which is their reworking of that classic into the modern era, because it was first brewed way back when. I'm not sure when. I know the original Stone IPA was 1997, so they were really wanting to rework that. And this is Ruinten. Now this is the 10th anniversary version of Ruination. It's even hoppier than Ruination, if you can believe that. I think it had the double the hopping rate, double the dry hopping rate at least, of the Ruination in 2012, I think, for the 10th anniversary, something like that. I'm not entirely sure, can't remember the top of my head. But this boy now is the reworking of the Ruinten, if you can actually believe that. We're using 5 pounds of hops per barrel, which is an extremely extortionate amount of hops to be using, to be perfectly frank. And I think they've raised the ABV a slight bit and probably changed the hopping rate, utilising them slightly differently with the new equipment. I imagine in the same way that the Ruination and the Pale Ale and such forth have been done too. And it clocks in a slightly higher ABV of 10.8% as well, to kind of mimic the triple IPA style, which is also what they put on the front now as well. They initially didn't say it was that. Or the Ruination, they didn't really call it double IPA either. So now you know this is a triple IPA. So let's crack it open and see what we've got, eh? Oh, yeah. So I got this one from Brewdog, and it was actually bottled on the 13th of June, which is it's relatively fresh. I mean, we had a Ruination 1 that we got from Brewdog, and that was pretty out of date, but it was still quite amazing, to be honest. So I expect nothing less from this one, and it's still relatively fresh. It should be good, and I can smell it. I can smell it already. Now I'm putting it next to my nose. It's a little bit deeper in colour than I thought it would be. It's got a kind of a burnt orange colour. Well, I seem to remember the Ruination 2.0 being just a tidgy bit lighter than this, more kind of, I don't know, a kind of lighter orange. It's definitely got a bit of burnt orangey look to it. And it's got a nice little bit of head that looks like it's going to lace pretty cool too. Despite that 10.8% alcohol, that's enough to kill the head on your beer normally. So let's give it a good old smell if I need to put my nose in the glass and see what we've got. It's pure dank juice. I don't really think I need to say more than that, but it's absolutely the juiciest, most humongous citrusy nose you can imagine. There's a lot of sweet alcohol in it as well. I would like to say there's probably a tiny bit of malt character coming through, some kind of caramel as well. But there's just a huge resinous, dank as anything. Superbly fresh hop note. Tons of orange, really sweet, juicy oranges in there. Blood orange, grapefruits. Oh man, it smells so damn nice. Without further ado, cheers everyone, let's get our lips in there. Oh, Stone seemed to be the one brewery, more than probably any other, and I've had the great fortune to have tried Heady Topper and Pliny the Elder as well, that just puts a smile on my face. Their IPAs just always seem to resonate with me. I mean, you guys in America can get Stone pretty easy because it's quite available across the country. You are so lucky. And UK, well, EU, we're going to be very lucky when the Stone in Berlin opens up. Hopefully we'll get some fresh stuff knocking around. This is spectacular, yeah. It's that unbelievably crushing dankness and orange and grapefruit and every kind of citrus fruit you can imagine on the palate. Tons of pine, tons of resin, mouth tearingly bitter, but not as much as I might imagine. It hasn't completely blown the palate out. There is still a nice level of sweet alcohol that balances out, some malt character. I guess it does get a little bit, now that I've not had a sip, now that I've left it for a bit longer, there is just now that bitterness is starting to creep up and become a bit more apparent, but the flavour just lasts for so long. Man, this is so nice. It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah. If they could have made a hoppier beer, they would have, and I think this is probably it. The kind of double version, the triple IPA, from the IPA to the Ruination to the Ruinten. Each one, it amps up every time. So if you want something that will absolutely demolish your throat, this is probably the hoppiest thing you are going to find. Definitely easily available. I'm sure someone will prove me wrong and say, well, actually, this beer is probably the one you'll find, and I've yet to try that beer. I'll put it that way. As always, I haven't read it out, but if you want, just pause the screen now if you want to read their cool little blurb on the back of the bottles. They always put something interesting on them. And it's well worth a read, the bottles, and these wonderful, love the look of the bottles, and I love the look of the laser engraved bottles as well. I think it's fantastic. This one's going to definitely be made into one of those funky cups. But rating wise, I mean, it's just an easy 9.5. This is just such a crushingly good IPA. If you can find some on the Brewdog website, just buy it. That is my advice. So please, like, favourite, comment and subscribe. Tell me what you think if you have tried this beer or Ruination 2.0 or the IPAs or the Pale Ales or Stone in general, because this company seem to do amazing things. And I wish them all the best in the future. Just last night, I think they released a video with Greg Cox saying that he was going to step down as CEO and move to an executive kind of director position. So the company is moving and shifting and changing, and they totally assure us they're going to stay independent, as opposed to, say, breweries like Lagunitas, who've sold out to Heineken, and Firestone Walker, who've sold partially to Duvel Muck out from Belgium as well. Stone say they're going to remain independent, but Greg's going to take a step back and let someone take over that CEO role and push the company even further forward. A man who's willing to admit his mistakes, and cheers to him on that. So yeah, go out and try this if you get the chance, guys. I know it's not too easily to be able to, can't find it too easily in the UK, but check out the Brewdog bars. They tend to import them. And until the next beer review, cheers everyone.